Dummy Switch Pod.
Yes, sir.
We're here and we're back. We're back to wrap up some European rugby. The Dan Carter of podcasting here. Passing along to my illustrious co-host. How are you, Chris?
Good as I'm good at you, man. Good to be back. It was interesting watching the last 2 weekends of rugby with Heineken Cup. You know, as a beer, Heineken is not so great. So, yeah, it was more like that with the rugby as well.
I mean, I'm not too sure. That one is a bit debatable, but for me, especially these European rounds, what they've more done for me is confirm things that maybe I previously knew. If you want to talk, I don't know. Let's start with your team, the Sharks. I felt like, especially against Quins, they performed well, and for me, they just make teams look non-threatening. Quins came here with their own English commentary team. Guys were talking them up, but the only danger men they have is South African guys, and we're South African guys, so we know what to deal with South African guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Esther Hazen, for example, there's a lot of talk for him to be included in Springbok starting teams, and he was this season, but did he impact even this game? Did he impact?
Yeah, no, I hear you. And look, I was one of the people that wanted to see Estes and get a shot. And look, rightly so. You know, it shows that, the Sharks in that game, the power came through. It was just, I think for these English sides, it's difficult playing against South African teams, to match up to that physicality. And of course, different conditions. But yeah, you can just see the golf in class, and also, you'd argue that it being a sort of a new kind of competition, they also maybe finding their feet, so we haven't really seen the real best of them. But at the end of the day, and also a new coach as well, for the Sharks also, so I think it's solid enough. They look more focused. Being the Sharks, there's you can see that there's a difference in the team. The guys are working harder, not that they weren't before, but they're making a bit less mistakes, and they're starting to convert more ball in hand. So, yeah, I'm happy about that, the Quins game. And then even the Bordeaux game, they had to work a bit harder with that one. There's a graft. But it eventually came through. And for me, it just shows that home games are going to matter in this competition.
And for me, especially, like, the Sharks just have this thing where they can make sides look non-threatening. They did it for like, periods of the game to Harlequins, and then they did it to Bordeaux as well. I think the Sharks maybe lack in identity in terms of like a playing style, which the Stormers have, the Lions have, even the Bulls under Jake White, they have their playing style. They make up for they go tight. Yeah. And when they go tight, that's when the guys start working. Bongi start working, Kolisi starts working, Etzebeth starts working, and that's how they've been shutting out games. So I think not having the identity is okay if you've got the kind of players that can keep it tight, keep it safe, and get you over the line.
Yeah, but in saying that, some of the better Shark sides over the years, they thrived off playing that just basic tight rugby. You think about it, using their pack. You think about when they had John Dasels there, playing it tight, and that sort of allows them to build that confidence where now they're able to use the ball. I don't think they there yet, but with Lucanio, I'm back. You're starting to see that. You can see how big of a difference it is just in that back line, So I think, yes, of course, it's a new coach, so their identities now, they have to reform it, and it's going to take some time, but we'll see. But I think we can just be quietly optimistic, because they've got the quality, they've got the box there, and like you said, with that roster, there can't be room for excuses. They've got to make it work.
Yeah, you talk about I'm coming back, but I mean, we can also talk about other guys coming back to form. Mapimpi's been back to form over the last 2 games. Kerwin Bosch, he's also back.
We bagged that guy.
Cohen,
and look at what he's doing.
He's back. He may be auditioning for a move elsewhere, but Cohen Bosch is certainly back. And yeah, no, I totally agree. They hit it up, and then you can see what they're doing with the back line. being a bit more clinical. They don't get it right 100% of the time. Some WWE moves have been exhibited, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I think things are on the up and up for you guys, especially if we're talking about the Lions game against the Sharks coming up now. I think it's also coming at a good time because sometimes these 10 o'clock kickoffs, it's maybe putting us off a bit. It's time to rejuvenate with a good old north south.
No, I think definitely, so it's really, like you say, the 10 o'clock kickoffs, it's a bit strange, and it's good to have kickoffs local time. Hopefully we can get a good sort of product, and that people actually do go out to the stadiums. I think that's got to be a concern, that people aren't actually going to watch the games. Are they opting to stay at home and watch it on the TV? Especially at Ellis Park, they need to think about maybe a different strategy, or different venue. Look, if that's the case, because you want that engagement and it's not really there as such, so yeah, as much as I was excited about the competition, now initially after watching these past 2 weekends, I'm just like, okay, let's like really look at what's going on. And yeah, it's telling. So hopefully we'll see a different outcome with the local derbies, maybe, and that we get a good product. That's what I'm hoping for, And the Lions, definitely, they're a different animal right now, especially defensively. You can see that jock-free attitude. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good game. Defense versus attack and counter attack with the Lions. Guys like Edwin van der Merwe, they can run it. Sunday Nohamba playing against his old team as well. It's going to be a big one. So, yeah, excited for this one, definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited. Empty Ellis Park, I think they do better to even play at Clearwater Mall. They could play Rudaport Stadium, even Westgate. They'd get a better turnout there. I don't know what's quite okay. Well, we know what's going on with Ellis Park, and also how it is Joburg. Everyone is away. But Lions, if we're talking European fixtures, Lions, the Europa League, if you will. Disappointing to get a draw against Welsh opposition because you dominate them week in, week out. But for me, that goes to selection. And selection goes to are the revenues being split? Does it serve us to actually, it serves us to go to the party and be in these European competitions, but I don't think they're getting money from the fixtures yet, so I don't know if it actually serves them to put out the best team, or it serves them to rather qualify for the Heineken Cup for the Lions. But that being said, disjointed, those changes, they brought in Warner, and I mean it's like, dog, if Nohamba is the man on fire, then keep playing Nohamba. I mean, I get it that it is a squad and you have to stretch guys, you have to make due. I think Marius Lowe didn't even play in that game. I don't even know why. I don't even think he was injured. The centers have been shuffled a bit. Even this week, Henko van Wyk is out. Jonker will be there. Jonker, he did fill in well. I think the Lions, they got it right against Stade Francais, and like how you said, the defensive play mimics how Fourie was. I think for the Lions, if the intensity is there, if the heart is willing, then things get done. I think the changes they were a victim of too many changes, and maybe that disrupted the defensive system there. But I mean, it's good to see guys like Landsberg come in. He's been good at the lineouts. Jonker came in. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. I guess a draw isn't. And the thing, they're also being more clinical now. They're being more clinical, which is something that I said this group has to develop. They're making those chances. I think Stade Francais, they maybe hung around a bit too much in the second half, but then they turned it on and then they got that killer edge.
No, definitely you can see how they've progressed, and look, credit to the coaching group, to have these guys, operating the way that they are. I think Ricardo Lobsha being there as well. Don't discount him because he was.
I thought that man was a fraud.
You always thought he was a fraud, But I mean, think about it. He was there at the Bulls when the Bulls were playing some pretty good rugby with forward momentum, and the backs were working with Habana. When they had who they had Habana was in backline, Stain. Who's this? Is it you?
When you have forwards like what they have,
Yes.
you don't need a back.
Okay, but with those forwards, I mean, the backline, they made Habana look good. Come on. So which means that the backline was getting the ball to Habana.
All I know is that guy went to coach in high school. From the box, he went to high school.
But
No. If you go from the box to go to coach high school, something is wrong. The Bulls had the players in at the
and
forwards.
he didn't mess it up.
So now it's just to.
I'm just saying, come on.
Okay, I'll just say, I've always thought Ricardo Losho's been a fraud. I've always thought that. He's proving me slightly wrong. Even Cash Van Rooyen, the PE coach, he's proving me slightly wrong. But alas, we'll move forward.
But I'm just saying, his experience, because I mean, he's been around, so he's seen things, so that experience as well is also contributing to the way that the Lions are playing, especially in the backs, But of course, the Jock-Free factor is much bigger, But at the end of the day, you mentioned selection, with Nohamba. I think. Look, nobody's saying that Warner is a bad player and not, but it's just that the guy that's getting the best output is Nohamba. So keep getting the best output from him. That's just what it is. There's going to come a time where most probably there will be a sort of a plateau, and then Warner needs to be ready to come in and sort of pick that up. That's if they're going to be a successful team. They need to be challenging each other within the squad. And then. I think also against Stade Francais with Willem Alberts, I think he was a big difference maker in that game. His experience and of course his brutality. He's a physical man, and I think that counted in their favor. In terms of selection. So yeah, not all doom and gloom. For the Lions, and even for guys like even at the Bulls. I think Jake White's also got something cooking there, so
he knows, Jake knows something that we don't know. That's what he's doing with these squad selections, and again it goes to, does it serve you to win in these group stages as much as it serves you to maybe qualify for next season, and to maybe just get over the line, to put yourself in a position where maybe at knockouts you start playing your first team. And you can see, I mean, even with the travel, the way that those guys had to take Patco buses and fly overnight and then get on 3 boats and whatever. So, I mean, congratulations to those guys for getting through the 2 fixtures, because they were difficult fixtures, and they won. And even against Exeter, I felt like they weren't too far off. They weren't too far off. It was just it was travel, and then the problem with the Bulls is they can fall under that whistle. They can fall under that whistle, and I feel like they did. But I mean, they started brightly. I think they got the first try. Similani at fullback, still questionable, but again, I'll say Jake knows things that we don't know. But even the Bulls, congratulations to them for. I mean, it's been tough for them, but
look. It has been tough for them, but I think, what he's doing, he's also, if you look at how the experience sort of in his group is growing, because now you've got a lot of...
I didn't know the scrum half, Novuka's there.
Yeah. And now these guys, they know what it's like to play in a European competition. They've got that exposure. It just bodes well for the Bulls, and it also helps him to quickly sift out those who can hang and those who can't. By allowing them to play in those or picking them to play in those competitions. And for SA Rugby, this can only be good, because they can be a solid production line, and guys can be more incentivized to stay here and play locally, because they know that they'll get the opportunity, to actually springboard and then even go on to other markets, but get that exposure, So, yeah, I think we'll still see more from the Bulls.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially with that thing about now it's you've got, I think, 2 or 3 teams where before it was just Super Rugby, Curry Cup. Now it's looking more opportunities for guys. So yeah, I suppose Jake will be bringing back. He brought back Bismarck. I wonder who else he's gonna bring next. Stormers, same old Stormers. For the way that I feel, okay, it was a bit tough on them going to Clermont. I've seen people get on Lubbock a bit, but it's like you're playing against a team that has a European pedigree. This is the first time, your first time there. You can't. They did well for as long as they did well, and then it wasn't. You can't expect a sweet ending all the time. So I mean, I'm not gonna scrutinize guys too much. It's the first European fixture, and I feel like they did well enough until they stopped doing well enough, and then you're just gonna have to learn from that. When I say stay more Stormers, I mean in the fixture they had now against London Irish, they're playing touch out there. They've just got their playing style. They're moving it through their hands. Achieva Daimani doing the things. They're looking dangerous. They're two pivots. You know, when you've got Damien Willemse and then Blommetjies passing it out wide there, it was just more of the same from them. So again, that identity just comes through strong there, and I won't lie. John Thompson, another fraud that I thought. The man's not a fraud. They were like, no, he's got a degree in creative writing and what. What love letters is this guy making? Because this guy, he turned it around. I really thought he was in trouble one time. That man, he's not a fraud.
Yeah, no, look, he did turn it around, definitely, you know, and I think he's just realized the group that he has and has allowed them to express themselves, you know, with the Stormers. Yeah, you can see, okay, this is a team that's won a championship, you know, the way that they play. I think, you know, for me, you know, I want to see a South African team sort of break that ceiling to become really like a sort of a force. And I think the Stormers, they have the potential to do that and be that, you know, because against Clermont, they were really in control and they really shouldn't have lost that game. But I think they didn't expect that sort of momentum and that crowd. You know, it's different. You know, we've seen from top 14 when they used to show it on SuperSport. Clermont is not an easy place to go and play. You know, so yeah. You know, Stormers, they're looking good, man. Again, it's all looking good for SA Rugby in terms of what the output of the players. You know, because when you look across the board, we're getting good output from the players.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely good output from the players, but now the fans are not going to the stadiums. You know, I think that's still the issue. You know, is, you know, what's going on there? How's that engagement? Why isn't that happening? Is it, you know, we can't always say, oh, it's Christmas season and whatnot, but it's been before then. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it develops.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's missing is guys in the stands, especially at Ellis Park. Guys, just play at Clearwater. I don't know. Just do something about that. But this weekend's fixtures, Sharks Lions, Chituka, unfortunately, Chituka senior playing lock. I don't know what you guys are doing to what you're doing to our boy.
I don't like that. I personally don't like that selection. Or them at lock.
Lukanya arm back. I'm also glad that they're showing us respect by playing the number one center combination. Ben Taps has those hands. He has gifted hands, especially to release that back line. I feel like he's one of those guys. But I feel the number one center combination, you guys are giving us the respect we deserve. The bench is fully loaded. For the Lions, the only thing, Henko van Wyck's not there, Jonker's there. Besides that, I think where we'll fall into trouble is when you guys keep it tight.
Yeah.
That's where we'll go into that trouble.
But with that, you know, the younger Chituka is a big threat over the ball.
No, he's the heartbeat.
You know, he's a big threat over the ball. So yes, you know, if we can manage to get the ball, recycle the ball, you know, keep possession, then yeah, can definitely put the Lions under pressure. But I still think, you know, the Lions backline and just the defensive system and that attitude it poses a different challenge, you know, to the Sharks, and that's why you have to go with your, you know, with your marquee players, and especially to get that result at home, you know, it's vital. And you know what, the class act is back, you know, so, and you can see how he energizes that backline when he came on, you know, they just look different, you know, so yeah, that guy he's got that thing, man. He's got that thing. So Bullstormers, I'll say Bulls, because I think they're itching for one. I'd say Bulls, and they due one, with what they've been through. They need that Christmas gift, So, sorry, Stormers.
Yeah, Stormers, it looks like they've changed their lineup a bit. Hartzenberg coming into the back line, Damian Willemser going 15, a roundabout, as you said.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to throw a prediction at that one. I just think it'll be good to see our boys facing each other, seeing as though sometimes other competitions can.
And also, especially after the end of year tour.
Yeah, after end of year two as well, just to see where guys. Yeah, okay, so you were SAA. I should have been SAA. That kind of thing. I think that it'll be interesting. There were guys that were left out. That I mean,
because they spoke about it, that they are guys that are on the. So I mean,
the last thing I want to go to is Christmas wishes. My Christmas wish is that we never get to see Jesse Creel play on the wing for the Box again. Because we saw, just at the Lions last week, we saw Kewan Horn. Yeah. He's not even an out-and-out winger. We saw Edward van der Merwe. You saw the kind of things that these guys can do. Yeah. So that'll be my Christmas wish. No more Jesse Creel out of position at wing when South Africa has an abundance of wing. My second is we need to see Ella on the field again.
Oh no, that's a good shot for a Christmas wish. I think for me, my Christmas wish is the referees must just clean up their act. That's my they're not getting presents. Wayne Barnes he started this body, and hopefully he can assist with the officiating being better, and them also accounting for their public on-field decisions, in public matches. So, yeah. That's my wish. And I'm done.
Yeah, that's it from us. Dummy Swish Pod. Thanks for watching.